Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato SammaSambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato SammaSambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato SammaSambuddhassa. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami, Dutayambi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dutayambi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Dutayambi Sangham Saranam Gacchami, Tadayambi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Tadayambi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Tadayambi Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from their happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. Tayata Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. Tayata Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. So now please get yourself in a nice comfortable position, and wherever you are, just be in the moment. I like to say often that it is, any place is the perfect place to practice the Dharma. Any time is the perfect time to practice the Dharma. Whether you're here in Australia and at the time zone that you're in, or whether you're in England, the time zone you're in, whether you're in Myanmar, time zone that you're in, it's now the perfect place and time to practice the Dharma. So now close your eyes gently. Make sure that you're not slouching in your position. Try to keep an upright back, whether you're sitting cross-legged on the floor, on a chair, or on the couch. Unless, of course, you have a very bad back and you have to lie down. But that's okay, just don't fall asleep. But also don't be rigid. Don't tense your body up. The initial part of the meditation will be to release the tension in the body. And as you do this, you will release the tension in your mind as well. So bring your mind to your feet and release any tension from your feet, from around your toes, the balls of your feet, the arches, the heels, the top of your feet, and around your ankles and Achilles tendons. And now your lower leg, release the tension from around your calf muscles and your shins. From around your knees, the front, the sides, and the back of your knees. And from your upper leg, the quad muscles at the front and the hamstrings at the back. And now release the tension from your midsection. From around your groin, your hip flexor muscles, and your hips, and your glutes. From your lower stomach, from on and above your hips, and from your lower back. And further up your stomach and your sides, and also the center of your back. Now release from your chest area and underneath your arms, and your upper back, the rhomboid muscles that run between the shoulder blades and the spine on either side, as well as the lateral muscles. And release the tension now from your upper trap muscles that run between the neck and the shoulders, as well as releasing from your shoulders. From your upper arms, the biceps and triceps, and elbows and forearms, and wrists, hands, fingers, and thumbs. Now bring your focus up to your neck and release the tension from the front, sides, and back of your neck. From the back of your head and the sides of your head, around your ears and temples. And release from your face, around your cheekbones and cheeks. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw. From your chin and your mouth, both inside and outside, resting your tongue on the upper palate, just above the top teeth in the mouth, with your lips gently touching. Release from your nose and sinuses, eye sockets and eyes. And from your forehead, make sure you're not frowning. And finally, release any tension from the top of your head. Now briefly scan your body from the toes to the fingers to the top of your head, just to see if you can release any more tension that is left over. And when you are ready, bring your focus initially to the tip of your nose. The object of the meditation is the breath, the feeling of the breath as you breathe in and out of your lungs. As you breathe in, the air is quite cool on the back of your throat. As it enters the lungs, they expand. And as you breathe out, the lungs compress. And as the air passes the back of your throat, it's now quite warm as it leaves your nose. That's all you have to do right now is breathe. In fact, breathing is the most important physical thing that we do. And as an object of meditation, it's so good because it tends to bring the mind inside the body, the focus on it. Breathing in, breathing out. You could almost say that the breath is kind of like the canvas or the surface for a painter to paint on. Without the breath, there is no life. So often people think focusing on the breath can be boring, but I can't think of something more beautiful, more meaningful than focusing on the breath. The most important physical thing that we do. As you focus on your breath, if thoughts arise, don't cling to them. Don't grasp at them. Don't deny them, and don't try to forcefully push them away. Just let them come and go naturally by refocusing on your breath. And it is likewise with any emotions or mental feelings that arise. And if your mind becomes the opposite, becomes more dull, a little bit sleepy, focus more brightly on the breath. This way, refocusing on the breath or replacing your mind on the breath becomes the antidote for both the distracted and agitated mind, as well as the dull mind. And physically as well, just try to stay still physically. This will help your mind to be still. And likewise, the mind being still will help your body be still. So we will practice like this for a few minutes in silence. And now you can feel very pleased with yourself for engaging in this meditation practice. The more that we still our mind, the more that we calm our mind, achieve clarity of mind, the more that we're able to perceive things as they are, including our mind. Remember that the mind is the source of all of our experiences. Without the mind, there is no experience. When your mind is clear, you have clear experience. If your mind is distracted and muddied, then you have distracted or muddied experience. So meditation practice is like one of the ways, in fact, one of the most important ways that you be kind to yourself. And now we will practice metta bhavana, or loving kindness meditation. Fill yourself with loving kindness. Extend this loving kindness towards yourself. Be kind to yourself. And realize that you deserve this. You deserve to be kind to yourself. You deserve to be loving and friendly. This is much more in tune with your true nature. Our true nature is wise and compassionate and loving, generous, moral, patient, enthusiastic, mindful and concentrated. Fill yourself with so much loving kindness now that it overflows you. Like a tidal wave continues to go more outwards. First of all, to include your family and friends. So extend this loving kindness to your family and friends, wishing that they are happy, free from suffering, and at peace. Radiate further and further to now include those you may regard as strangers. And now those that you may regard as enemies, those people that you may find very difficult and irritating. Wish that all these people have happiness and the causes of happiness, and that they are free from suffering and the causes of suffering. That they are peaceful, and that they cause peace around them. Keep radiating this loving kindness out further and further to now include all sentient beings, all living beings around your immediate area where you live, the area that you live in, the suburb, and the city, and your state or county. May this loving kindness pervade your whole state or county and other states or counties until this loving kindness pervades throughout your whole country. And other countries. Firstly, those that you are familiar with, and eventually those that you are not familiar with. May this loving kindness reach the depths of the oceans, to the highest mountain peaks, and pervade this whole earth with universal loving kindness. May all of the living beings on this planet be happy, free from suffering, and be at peace. Keep extending this loving kindness out further and further. Allow it to pervade the whole solar system and other solar systems within this Milky Way galaxy. And other galaxies within this universe. and other universes throughout infinite space. This unlimited loving kindness, immeasurable loving kindness, pervades throughout infinite space. And remember that the source is your own mind. And now be present here and now, and we will recite the dedication prayer before the short Dharma talk. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their sufferings. May the precious body Chitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of Shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. So I hope you're feeling very nice after our meditation. Try to keep the same concentrated and clear mind as you listen to the short Dharma talk. And in case I forget later, I just extend once again the invitation for you to contact me at any time, either through messenger or text message or emails or phone calls if you have any questions, or for any reason at all, actually. And I will definitely get back to you when I can. So as you know, we are talking about the 5 derivative mental factors, which are recorded in Master Vajjabandhu's Abhidhamma Kosha, which is the house of high knowledge. It's kind of like an expansion on the Buddha's Abhidhamma, or a commentary as well. Many more examples in this scripture. It's from around about 1500 years ago, I think. So anyway, the 51 derivative mental factors, we've already spoken about the 5 omnipresent mental factors, always present factors. We've spoken about the 5 object determining mental factors, the 6 root delusions or root afflictions, the 20 secondary afflictions, and last week we finished the 11 virtuous mental factors. So today we will talk about the 4 changeable mental factors, which brings it to 51. And then from next week, what I'll do, in fact, I should mention this now, that for those of you that haven't been attending the classes since the 1st of August, which is when we started recording them, we did a few before that, just in Australia. And you can go and have a look. They're on the Facebook page within a day or 2 after the actual class. So like, for instance, the 1st, I may have posted it, before the 3rd of August. And we went through the whole of the Eightfold Path. And right now we are actually mingling these 51 derivative mental factors with the right concentration, as well as the right understanding and right intention. The next subject after that, we will cover the 18 dhatus and the 12 ayutanas, or the 18 realms of consciousness. 6 sense doors, the 6 sense objects, as well as the 6 resulting consciousnesses. And also the ayutanas relate to the first of those 12, so the 6 sense doors and the 6 sense objects. So we will go into that, but not next week. Next week, I think what I'll do is recap a little bit. And, if there's any questions that come to me, maybe I'll answer them related to this subject as well. And so the 4 changing or changeable mental factors, why are they changeable? Because they can either lead to either virtuous or non-virtuous actions, depending on what they are based on, depending on our motivation and intentions, and also depending on the supporting or the related mental factors. I've just written myself a few notes here so I don't forget. So it depends on the accompanying mental factors. For instance, if the first one is sleep, for instance, if you're sleeping with bad intention, let's say, for instance, you're having some dreams even, and you're being nasty to people, then it becomes a non-virtuous sleep. If in your dreams or in your thoughts prior to sleeping, for instance, then if you are being kind and you're extending love and kindness to others, then your sleep becomes virtuous as well. I used to say years ago, it's kind of scary thinking that we're creating karma in our sleep. But that's the way the mind works. The mind goes from thought to thought. When we're sleeping, the mind doesn't stop. It becomes much more subtle, of course, where all of these 5 sense doors, the first 5 sense doors, become internalized. They become inward rather than looking outside, seeing something or hearing something. Where actually it's all inside the mind, inside. And so they can be used. These 4 changeable mental factors can be used in a positive way or a harmful way. And I will explain how or why. So sleep, as I mentioned, the consciousness associated with the 5 sense doors during sleep and in the dream state as well withdraw inwardly. Now, I should point out, I'll make an extra note here, that the sleep state and the deep sleep state, as well as the dream state, they're very subtle, and they're actually great opportunities for us to progress very quickly along the Dharma path if we train our mind while we're awake. We have to train it while we're awake. So then our sleep states, our dream states can be utilized in a sense of keeping onward towards the enlightenment that we want, of course. If the preceding moment contains virtue, then generally the sleep is virtuous. If it contains unwholesomeness, then generally the sleep is non-virtuous sleep. An example, I mentioned the dreams. If we're having good dreams where we're kind to others, then this results in positive karma, in creating positive conditions in mind states. If we have nightmares and we are actually nasty and being aggressive and harmful in these dreams, then we are creating some non-virtuous karma. Of course, this is not like we're following through. Let's say, for instance, you have intentions to hurt somebody in a dream. This is nothing like actually, taking out these actions, following through with these actions with our either speech or our physical actions. It's nowhere near the same intensity of karma. Before we sleep, what we should do is let go of any negativity. Really sit in meditation, like contemplative meditation, and think, what have I done today? If you realize, you think, well, I have done negative actions, perform negative actions, then you should have some sort of positive regret and resolve not to do them again. And also let go of them at that time. They're only good to learn from. Also, if you have engaged in wholesome deeds, virtuous deeds during the daytime, including in that moment as you're meditating, as you're thinking about this is virtuous, then you rejoice in this, you recall them to your mind, and rejoice in the rejoicing, and so on and so forth. Multiply the goodness. And then as you do that, then you can go to sleep. And almost guaranteed, depending on your training that you've done so far, then you will create some virtue through your sleep. So like I said before, just to remind you, the sleep, deep sleep and dream states are very subtle and a great opportunity for us to practice Dharma. But we must prepare for this in our awake state. So that's that one. The next one is regret and remorse. And I touched on it just briefly just then. And so this, once again, can be positive or negative. This includes, as we want to purify negative karma, for instance, we have to have a positive regret, a non-clinging regret for engaging in any negative actions. Then we have to have a resolve not to engage in such actions again, or at very least to diminish and decrease the possibility of engaging in these actions again, eventually not to at all. We do this practice towards a virtuous object, such as thinking about the Buddha, or bodhisattvas, arahants, of your teachers, and anybody that you find and in your mind is compassionate and wise. You can base it towards these beings, even though you're doing the practice yourself. And of course, the fourth of the powers, the four powers of purification, is engaging in the actual practice yourself. So once again, I know I've mentioned this before. If you want to remember this just with one word for each aspect, think regret, remorse, virtuous object, and practice or action. So, so this regret basically is, if you regret negative actions, it's a good thing. It becomes virtuous. But if you regret engaging in positive actions, then you decrease your virtue. For instance, if you have been generous and really help somebody by giving them either material aid or some sort of protection from their fears, or giving them the Dharma or some sort of truth that will help them in their lives, and then later on you regret doing that, then you diminish the virtue, diminish the goodness in that, decrease it. And so I think, I know we've spoken about regret before in previous classes as well, so I think I'd leave that one very brief. The next two are very closely related. It's investigation and analysis. So often people think investigation and analysis are the same thing, but actually you must investigate before you can analyze. So you can say that investigation is like a gross aspect of you wanting to discern the truth in something or how to do something. And then analysis is much more subtle. So the general investigation or gross detection, if you want to use those words, or conceptualization, is a general examination of an object. So you kind of search for the obvious and the obvious ideas or details of an object. It's changeable because our view changes. So one's view can change. If you investigate something like, let's say, for instance, a bit of dirt or a speck of dust, if you investigate that, as you investigate it, your view of it becomes more clear. And so that's why it's changeable. But also, once again, it can be negative, depends on your motivation and intention for investigating. The investigation itself has the potential, like I said, to be virtuous or non-virtuous, and depends on our intention. It can be helpful. With the right intention, it can lead to right view and right understanding. But with the wrong intention, it can lead to wrong view and the wrong understanding, to reinforcing our ignorance and delusions. An example of this is an atom. A long time ago, scientists trying to find out what is the most subatomic sort of matter, related to energy and things like this. And the atom was known many, many years ago, more than 100 years ago, as the smallest thing, smallest physical thing that we know about in the universe. And then, of course, they were able to split the atom. Now, if you use the investigation to be able to split the atom, to develop insight into the nature of the atom, in other words, the nature of physical phenomena and how it maybe relates to mental phenomena, then this is positive, it becomes virtuous. But if you have the intention to create an atom bomb to blow people up and kill people, then this becomes non-virtuous. This is a very gross type of example. Now, I've just noticed that we've got less than 1 minute, but I'm glad that I went to some details in these. Obviously, we're going to pick this up next week and talk about the last one, which is the analyzing or analysis. So make sure that you practice well, take what you have got from this class and put it into practice. And watch the class again and write some questions, take some notes, practice with the right intention. That is of utmost importance. Have the right intention. Take care. Be well. Be happy.